All right, hey everybody. Again, David Taylor is a fraud, and if you don't believe me, ask Michelle. She knows. So today, what we're gonna do, actually, we're all gonna do, is we're all gonna go over David's 990s, dating back to about 2010 or so. I was able to find them online. Uh, I'll post a link in the video. And also, if there's anybody out there that knows anything about non-for-profit and tax preparation, please let me know, because there's some funny signatures on these documents. Some of them are different than the year before or the year following. So something really weird's going on with his 990s. And in no particular order, I'll go ahead and start with it. So 2016, looks like this one was signed by David Taylor. Let's see here. Tax ID 33-117-4241. Gross receipts $1,822,995. That's on line G of the return of organization exempt from income tax. The address is P.O. Box 1270, Florissant, Missouri. Doing business as Joshua Media Ministries Industry. Briefly describe the organization's mission or most significant activities. Joshua Media Ministry goal is to spread the good work of Jesus Christ throughout the world. So that's their mission statement. Again, this is 2016, signed by David Taylor. Tax preparer's name was Peter Lane from Jackson Hewitt. The firm's address was 7060 Natural Bridge Road Street, St. Louis, Missouri. So that's where his taxes were filed. Let's see here. And then there's also another part, describe the mission statement. Preach the gospel of the kingdom and the demonstration of the former and latter reign and glory of God. And the way reign is spelled is R-A-I-N. So there's the illiteracy of David E. Taylor, is he can't even fucking tell the difference between reign and reign. So there's another big red flag, okay? Dude can't spell properly. Said he had $1.8 million in expenses. I'm going down the list here. We're on page 3 of the Form 990. Let's see. Pardon for looking here, guys. Is an organization described in section 501c3 or 497a1 other than a private foundation? If yes, complete Schedule A. So he says yes. Complete Schedule A. Says he reported amounts. So again, if there's any tax preparers out there that know anything about 990s, let me know, and I'll get the 990s out to you so you can look at them. Because some of them don't even have signatures on them. Come here, little girl. Marilyn wants to help with taxes today. Okay. So for that year, the 3 people listed, average hours per work hours for related organization below. So David Taylor says he does 60 hours a week. LaMarcia McDonald does 10, and Michelle does 50 hours. And it shows all of them as an individual director or trustee. Shows David as a key employee and highest compensated shareholder. Shows Michelle as an officer and trustee or director. And LaMarcia, this just shows her as an individual trustee or director. Let's see here, 1.82. Okay, so it looks like this year he claimed about 1.82 million. It's telling what he spent. Benefits paid for members, 84,000. Trustee and key employee, $5,000. Other salaries and wages, 54,000. Payroll taxes, 37. Management, 77,000. Legal, 20,000. Accounting, 18,000. Advertising and promotion, dude, you spent 150,000 on advertising. Office expenses, 35. Information technology, 19,000. Yeah, that's why you have such a bullshit media team, because you're not spending enough money on your information technology. Travel, almost 200,000 in travel. 300,000. You spent 289,000 in travel, David. Occupancy, 184,000. So you're paying occupancy on the building, either that or you're paying out loans. Conferences, conventions, and meetings, you paid 77,000 that year. Depreciation, 15,000. Insurance, 35. Bank fees, 41,000. Damn, you spent 500,000 in media expenses? No wonder you're failing, dude. All other expenses, 283,000 for a total function expense of $1.8 million. $1,880,000. $1,880,242 is what it looks like. This is 2016. Cash non-investing bearing. Beginning of the year, you had $341,240. By the end of the year, you had $362,311. Let's see here. What else you had? Inventories for sale or use. Not much inventory. Let's see here. So it says total assets $2.3 million on that year. Let's see here. And then again, some of this stuff I don't know how to read 990's. Okay, so it's showing from 2012 the contributions you received. So 2012, $753,830. 2013, $3,674,320. So that was the year that Deborah Fraser donated to you. 2014, $611,111. 2015, $1,849,473. 2016, $1,822,995 for a total of $8,711,729. And this is Section A, public support of the 990. So it gives the last, so it goes 2012 to 2016, and 2017 was basically, that was the last year that you filed taxes. You filed taxes that year. And then from what I found out online is basically 2017 was the last year that your tax ID was basically disbanded because you haven't been paying your taxes. So that's kind of a dead giveaway, because I did find that online. You can't find the farthest your tax information goes is 2017, David. So that's a dead giveaway that you're not filing your taxes. Okay, so this is okay, now we are on Part 3, organization, maintaining collections, art, historicals. Okay, there's nothing there. Land, buildings, and equipment. Land said $200,000 worth of land. Book value was $200,000. Buildings, $1,524,900 for a total of $1.5 million that year is what you had in land and buildings. Which is kind of funny because we know you have other houses tied to the ministry, to your cult, my bad. We know you have other stuff tied to your cult. We've looked up, we have several addresses, David. You probably have, there's 4 or 5 different houses that are under other people's name in the cult that you have them take out the lines of credit. We found one house where there's about 10 people living in one house that are all associated with your cult. Okay, so we know that. Okay, so 2016. Okay, here's 2011. Again, the tax ID was the same, 33-1174241. Briefly describe the organization mission or most significant activities. A worldwide multicultural 5-fold ministry with special emphasis on preaching the gospel of the kingdom, committed to invading, shaking, and converting the nations with a specific assignment to America. The fuck? Dude, David, dude, you're whack, bro. Dude, you have no... dude, this is just... reading your mission statement for your cult is comedy enough, dude. And the signature is different on 2011's 990 also, okay? That year, David reported $747,379 in gross receipts. Contributions and grants, $716,000. Program service, $31,000. 319. Why does this say 2013 it was signed? This year, okay, the tax preparer's signature was Darlene M. Davis, who is looks like she was a CPA. It was dated 2/12/2013, but the 990 is from 2011. So if there's some kind of, you know, tax law regarding how far out, you know, a non-for-profit can file their taxes, I'd like to know that. The address listed on this was 2008 Victory Way Lane, which was also mentioned in the deposition in 2013 or 2015, 2014, 2015. So that was mentioned there. Chewing gum, sorry. Let's see here. Okay. Let's go down here. Trying to see who the key employees were that year. Okay, so the key employees that year, David Taylor was the president, James Taylor must have been his dad, Katie Taylor his mother, LaMarcia McDonald was the director, and Marion Frantz was the director. David, again, was listed as he was key director, CEO, everything. He had his parents listed as individuals or trustees. And Marion Frantz was key employee. Okay, so those were the ones that Colleen Renane had mentioned in the 2013 or 2014-15 depositions. So she had these 990s present when she was going over those over the financials. So these are the names that she was mentioning ultimately was right here in the 990s. Makes me wonder how far back she went with the 990s. Maybe she didn't go back too far. Maybe she only went back, say, 2000, 2010. See what happens here. Total revenue. Again, I don't know how to read 990s. I'm just going through and all I know is the signatures are different on all of his 990s. Every one is different. So that year it said he had, for buildings, he had 500,000. Accumulated depreciation was 17 grand. Book value 482,000. So maybe that's the cost of one of the cult headquarters. Again, if somebody knows 990s, then help us out here. That'd be great. There's some clauses down here. Supplemental information to Form 990. Officer, directors, etc. Family relationship. Part 6, line 2. James and Katie Taylor are the parents of David Taylor. Part 2, Form 990, governing body review. Part 6, line 11. The governing body reviews the 990 through a representative of the board prior to signature and filing of the return. So the governing body, okay, so David, there's your scam. So David hired his parents to skim his taxes, basically. And then the board would review the taxes before they're signed. So it was one huge tax scheme. So conflict of interest policy compliance, part 6, line 12C, management requires conflict of interest to be disclosed, and conflicted parties cannot vote on issues in which there is a personal conflict. Okay, so there's another part of scam. Governing documents, etc., available to public. Part 6, line 19. Governing body documents are available for review upon request during normal business hours. Okay, so that year David said, hey, if the public wants to see, look, you guys can come look at all of our financials during normal business hours. Explanation of other changes in assets or fund balances. Part 11, line 5. Other funds balance carry forward. Okay, that's 2011. That's it on that one. Okay, 2014. 2014, there's no signature. Preparer's name was Veda Clay. Clay Financial Services, 320 Brooks Drive, Suite 122, Hazelwood, Missouri, 63042. So that was the tax preparer on this one. There's no signature. It's just a typed name. But last time I checked, you have to actually physically sign your taxes. You can't just put a print on there. That's what I thought anyways. Okay, so this year looks like it was a pretty big year for him. he had a total of 5 million in assets that year. 5.5 million in assets. By the end of the year, he had 5 million. So it looks like he lost money that year for sure. So he lost $500,000 that year. Said it had 611,000 in receipts. Oh yeah, and tax ID again, 33-1174241. This one is P.O. Box 1270, Florissant, Missouri. So it's his P.O. Box where people send him money. This one is preach the gospel of the kingdom and demonstrate the former and latter reign glory of God. Reign is spelled R-A-I-N again. Let's see. So he does have to complete Schedule A. And let's see. So did the organization report an amount for land, buildings, and equipment in Part X, Line 10? If yes, complete Schedule D. Okay. A lot of this stuff says no here. Did the organization comply with backup withholding rules for reportable payments to vendors and reportable gaming, gambling, winning to prize winners? Yes. Okay, that regards gambling rules. If at least one is reported on line 2A. Okay, so that he did file there. Let's see here. Who's on board this year? So David, LaMarcia, and Michelle are the 3 main people. LaMarcia is the director, and it says she only works 2 hours per week. She's an individual or trustee. David Taylor is the CEO, individual trustee, key employer, highest compensated employee. And Michelle is the individual trustee and secretary, it looks like. Or officer, I apologize. Let's see here. Accumulated depreciation, 4.5 million. So this is the balance sheet part. Assets. Cash non-interest bearing. Said he had, damn. Cash non-interest bearing. Beginning of the year, that year, it was $998,482. By the end of the year, it was 20 grand. Okay. Accounts payable and accrued expenses. Beginning of year, $390,513. By the end of the year, it was almost $3 million. $2.89 million is what he had accounts payable. So that's bills he had to pay. Accounts payable and accrued expenses. Tax exempt. Any liabilities? Let's see here. Secured mortgages and notes payable to unrelated third parties. $2.5 million. Can anybody guess what that's for? That's right, the residential center. Because that's what the residential center was listed as. And the total liability is 2.89. Again, there's your residential center. Because that's what the residential center was originally listed at, was around 2.8 million. 2.89 was the appraisal value. What David said in the deposition. And he had no clue who he was buying it from. So there's the cost of the residential center right there. And this is the 2011. Accrual method used to prepare the Form 990 accrual. I'm sorry, this is 2014, you guys. Not 2011. Donated services. Let's see here. Reconciliation. Here's a recon of net assets. Looks like David went in the negative this year. Net assets. Oh no, he had 2.2 million by the end. 2.1 million by the end of the year 2014. 7.5, and this is support schedule for organization described. Yeah, these 990's are a little tricky. I don't know how to read them. But the signatures are real funny on them. That's ultimately what grabbed my eye at first, was the signatures, because it's just, the signatures don't look right. They're all different. Okay, so this one is, okay, so here's 2009. So the cult was formed in 2007, so we're what, 21 years, so we're 21, so we're 14 years later. So the cult's been running for 14 years now, and most of the people have been in there. Michelle has definitely been there probably since 2010, maybe. She had to have been there at the very beginning. Again, tax ID is the same. Tax preparer, again, Feta Clay Financial Services. And the mission statement here is serve in all the fivefold ministry offices as an apostle. David, you're not an apostle, dude. You're not a prophet. Get over it, dude. You're none of these things. Spreading the news of Jesus Christ across America. Okay. And then briefly describe the organization's mission: preach the gospel of the kingdom and the demonstration of the former and latter reign glory of God. And again, reign is spelled R-A-I-N. David, you're illiterate, dude. You don't know how to spell. Or did Michelle spell that? So let's see how much the receipts were that year. So 300,000. So David was still pretty fresh at this time. He probably didn't have his, scam down yet to where he could fully scam people all the way. So looks like he didn't bring in much money that year. 300,000. Well, that was the receipts anyways, but let's see what he brought in. So that year, he's a CEO. His mom and dad, and Marianne France again was on that board of directors. Again, he was a CEO. He filed for that year. He paid himself $44,000 that year. Now I know when you actually own a business, this is what I spoke to the IRS about this. When you have a business, and if your business makes $1 million, just the business, you peel off $100,000. You take 10% off of that million, and you tax yourself. You 1099 yourself, and you pay taxes on that W-2, however you want to do it. The IRS considers that a healthy living wage, and they will not audit your business, because ultimately $100,000 a year. I'm pretty sure people would say, hey, yeah, that's a healthy living wage. So the IRS will not audit your books like that. I've talked to them. That's a pretty cut and clear law. So for all you business owners out there, if you make $1 million, keep $100,000 for yourself. The IRS won't look at it. So let's see here. Let's see what kind of expenses. Here we go. Statement of functional expenses. So salaries, $44,000. So that was his salary. Other employee benefits, $133. Fees and services, $1,300. Accounting, $55. Other, $73. Advertising and promotions, $44,144. Information tech, other expenses was $85. Information technology was $20,000. Occupancy was $27,000. Travel, $32,000. Conferences, $64,000. Charitable contributions was $23,000. Other miscellaneous was $52,000. Total functional expenses was $284,728. Program expenses, and there's management and general expenses. Cash non-interest bearing. That year he had $8,300 to start with. End of the year he had $25,000. So again, this looks like he was real early into a scam, and he hadn't really quite figured things out yet on how to scam people. So on part 2, section A of public support, I'm guessing that's going to be his donations. And gifts, grants, contributions, and memberships fees received do not include any unusual grants. So 2008 was $70,806. 2009 was $302,000 for a total of $373,19. So it looks like those 2 years. So his scam was getting better in 2009. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Information on bids are obtained from independent CPA firms for completion services. Again, the Taylors are related. We know that. Okay, so here's 2017's tax return. Again, the signatures through the tax returns have changed. Every signature on these 990s is different, and some of them don't even have signatures on them, so which is kind of weird. Again, tax number is the same, 33-1174241. Gross receipts that year was $4,096,502. Okay, so total number of volunteers, let's see. 40 volunteers. Total number of people employed in the calendar year, 1. Can we guess who that is? It's Fat Ass, of course. Number of independent voting members, 2, so probably him and Michelle. And then there's a total of 3 governing the body. So that's 2017. This is the last year that David filed his taxes. And then from the information I found online, basically his tax ID number has been disbanded. Like you can't, if you do enough searches, you won't find his tax returns anywhere. Expenses that year was $2.75 million. Okay, there's the scheduling. Trying to get down to the numbers here. Looks like they even blotted some of the stuff out on the statement of functional expenses. Salaries and wages that year was $53,000. Pension plan accruals $10,000. Payroll taxes $889. 27, David paid a lot of legal fees, $50,000 in legal fees. Accounting another $30,000. Dude, $600,000 in advertising, David. Office expenses $500,000, dude. Well, I could see that. You got to heat that entire building and probably keep it cool in the summertime. I'm probably sure that's not cheap. And you could ultimately write that off as an office expense. Information technology $84,000. Occupancy $172,000. You spent $500,000 on travel, David. Where are you traveling to, dude? $500,000. Dude, ridiculous. Interest $178,000. Depreciation and depletion and amortization $172,000. Insurance $73,000. You paid $230,000 on meals and entertainment. Automobile $75,000. Charitable $73,000. Dude, $230,000 on meals. Are you eating everything, David? I'm pretty sure you are, because you're the only one getting fat on that fucking cult. Nobody else is. Well, maybe Michelle. But, dude, you're eating $200,000 worth of food a year? You know what you could be doing with that $200,000, David? You're pathetic, dude. You're filth, David. Just this, again, I'm talking to you. I have your 990 here, see? Look. I have your 990. I'm looking at it right now. You want to know how I know it's your 990? Look, there's your signature, David. Right here. David E. Taylor, CEO. I have your information, okay? Dude, you're filth, David. If I was doing this shit, I'd be, the IRS would be knocking on my fucking door, dude. If I was scamming the IRS like this, they'd take my house, they'd take everything from me. But here, you're, for some reason, because you claim you're apostleship, God, whatever, and you're Jesus' homeboy, you get away with it. Not happening, dude. That's why we're here. Talking to you again, David. I have all your information, dude. You're done, dude. You're done. You're done and over with. Just give it up. You should probably try to make one last ditch effort to try and flee the country before you actually get arrested. Okay? You may not think you're not gonna get arrested, David, but this is coming down on you hard. This is gonna come down on you really hard and really fast. So from 2013 to 2017, David made $12.1 million. Gifts, grants, contributions, and membership fees received. So he scammed between 2013, 4 years. 2013, 3.6. 2014 looks like his scam got, like people saw his scam, 611,000. 2015, 1.8. 2016, 1.82. 2017, 4.0 or 4 point, yeah, so 4 million in 2017. So by the end of that time, he had scammed over $12.1 million from the IRS, basically. Makes me wonder where all that money went. $12.1 million, David? Dude, where'd all that money go? What do you have to show for it? Some fucking trailers sitting in your parking lot you're gonna do some fucking miracle convoy with? Dude, with that $12 million, David, you could have probably fed fucking Ethiopia, man. Come on, dude. 12 million? Pathetic. And what do you have to show for it now? Nothing? Nothing to show for it? Where's your Bentley? Where's your Mercedes that you cut into a limo? Do I need to ask Michelle? Does she know where the Bentley is? Where's the limo? Where's the Range Rover, David? You wonder why we're here? This is why, because you're fucking scamming people. Okay, here's 2012. Again, same tax ID number. Gross receipts that year was $753,830. There was one individual being paid, which was Fat Boy. Yes, you, David. So you were the only person being paid that year. 5 independent voting members. And then 4, or I apologize. So there, read this. 5 number of voting members of governing body, 5 number of independent voting members of the governing body, 4, and then total number of individuals employed in calendar year, 1. So David employs himself and doesn't pay anybody else. But we all knew that already, David. You didn't have to tell us that. We knew that you don't pay your staff. We know you have them living there in that cult building for how long? Again, shout out Facebook, Thice, all you guys, Spedstick Hobo, Jam and my Cult Watch, all you guys, man. You guys are awesome. This wouldn't be possible as one person. This has to be a collective issue as a group, because not just one person can do this. It's too much. It would, like Kia said on the one phone call, you know what? Sometimes I do go to bed thinking about you, David, because I think about ways to just get inside your head, and I know I am, to make you crumble. So can you can count on me. Keep on, okay? So it looks like, let's see. So it looks like 2012 wasn't that good a year for you, David. You were still scamming people that year, so. Okay, here's 2015. That year you brought in gross receipts, says 1.84 million. Your mission statement, serve in all the fivefold ministry offices as an apostle spreading the good news of Jesus Christ across the globe. David, you're so full of shit, dude. Again, organization's mission, preach the gospel of the kingdom and the demonstration of the former and latter reign glory of God. And again, reign is spelled R-A-I-N. David, you're fucking illiterate, dude. Learn how to spell. Or just ask Michelle. See, so La Marcia, David, and Michelle, they were all employees that year. Said La Marcia only worked 2 hours a week. Michelle, you worked 40. David, you worked 40, but you probably didn't do shit anyways. Let's see here. So your total revenue was 1.84 million that year. By the end of that year, your total, looks like you actually lost money that year. You started with 5 million, went down to 4.9, which was, wasn't really that big of a drop, but it looks like you still did lose money. Which is why you haven't filed your taxes, because either you're hiding the money. It's either you have a lot of money and you're hiding it, or you don't have any money and you're just broke as fuck. Which is also a good possibility. 2010, gross receipts $397. Okay, here's 2013. 3.6 million was gross receipts that year. Mission statement: serving all the fivefold ministries of office as an apostle, spreading the news of Jesus Christ across America. David, dude, come on, man. Preach the gospel of the kingdom, former and latter rain. Again, rain is spelled R-A-I-N. Dude, David, you're just an idiot, man. I don't get it. Let's see what he did here this year. So again, on this year also was Michelle, LaMarcia, and David. Michelle and David both showing 40 hours a week. LaMarcia was 2 hours a week. That was the year that David made $119,000. So that looks like where he was trying to get a higher paycheck that year. Michelle, looks like Michelle was paid just under 60 grand that year. Name and title shows David is, basically the head CEO, of course. Let's see here. Let's see what he spent that year. All right, so we're going down functional expenses. All right, so total expenses. They have a line A, B, C, and D on the 990. So total expenses. All right, 119,916 was the compensation of current officers. So that was David's paycheck for the year. Other employee benefits, 242,546. Payroll taxes, 13,000. Legal, he paid 12 grand that year. Accounting, 6 grand. Advertising and promotion, 140. 146 and 20. Office expenses, just under 300,000, is 289 that year. Information technology, 93. Royalty, 0. Occupancy, 18,000. Occupancy, I don't know if maybe that's housing and lodging for when he's out doing his little cult crusades. I'm going to take a stab and say yeah. Travel, $414,000. Conference, conventions, and meetings, $29,000. Insurance, $4,000. Charitable contributions, $75,000. Other expenses, $10,000. Oh, here's your honorariums, $30,976. Total function expenses, $1,508,000. Program service expenses, $119,000. Okay, all these numbers are matching up here. So out of the $12,000 for legal, $4,000 program service expenses. Okay, there's something wrong there. Management and general expenses. So I'm guessing $8,000 went to your legal. Man, David. Man, there's just looking at this, it's a fucking mess, dude. I can't believe you've managed to run an IRS scam this long, a tax scam this long, without being caught. The amount of money that you've brought into this place and you have absolutely nothing to show for it shows that you've misused church funds, David. $12 million you made in the last 4 years. Now I know you're full of shit. Makes me wonder where all the money's going now, because you know what, that money's got to be running out. That kind of money doesn't last forever, especially with you. You probably spent it all already. So, again, this was a video just basically on his 990s today. I downloaded them all last night. I'll post the website. If you guys have any questions about them, let me know. I've already emailed them out to several of the channel followers, you guys. So go ahead and check them out, man. All the information's there. Check the signatures. You can tell big scam going on. So IRS, it would be cool if you guys got involved and maybe started auditing some of these large prosperity preachers that are scamming you. You guys don't want to get involved because the church is protected. I get it. But the fact that they're scamming you and using religion to scam the IRS, that should be kind of an issue, I think. Especially when we, the taxpayers, are paying those taxes. So, any questions, comments, concerns, you guys leave them below. I'm kind of running out of stuff to put new videos out on. Ultimately, I think the long run is we need to get a documentary out on David. Start with his cult and then kind of start throwing in some of the other prosperity ministries, Olstein, Kenneth Copeland. I think I found another guy named Jeremiah Johnson who's kind of a nut job too. So, any questions, comments, concerns, you guys let me know. And if any tax preparers out there who know anything about nonprofit, let us know so we can maybe get some information on that. We have somebody who already knows about legal documents. Somebody that could help us with these 990s would be awesome. Let me know. Would love to hear feedback. You guys are great. Anyone I didn't mention, you guys are awesome, man. Keep it up. David Taylor, you're fake, you're a fraud, you're a false prophet, you're pathetic, dude, out of all things, really. Michelle, you're brainwashed. Tony, go home to your family. Kia, go home to your family. All you guys need to do is walk out the front door, guys. That's it. Call an Uber. Get on your phone, download the Uber app, and take an Uber to an airport or wherever you got to go and go home. Nothing good is going to come out of this with David. Guarantee it. Okay? Nothing good will come out of this. So for now, ask Michelle. If not, it's proprietary. Peace.